Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a look at this little brushless drone that I got from AliExpress. I want to thank AliExpress. They sent out a couple of drones I'll be reviewing on the channel, and this is the first one that I'm going to be taking a look at. Now this is branded under the name Xiaomi A11. Now I want to use Xiaomi with air quotes because I can tell you right now this is not made by Xiaomi. That's a very popular, well-known electronics brand. They don't do anything with toy drones. The only real drone I ever know that they were associated with was the Mi drone, which is a big, much more advanced brushless drone, GPS drone. But this is a little toy one. So what happens is these sellers on AliExpress and Wish and some of these other sites, they will use the Xiaomi branding to try to give legitimacy to the drone, and people see that and go, oh wow, Xiaomi makes this, and they want to buy it. But it has nothing to do with Xiaomi. But the reason why I'm going to use it in the title is because people are going to see that, they may search it, and I wanted to find this video. But I'm not suggesting that Xiaomi actually makes this drone. But it is a little brushless drone. It has really cool LED lights. I've done a little test flight with it here yesterday. And it does, I believe, have optical flow on the bottom as well. So it'll kind of help hold position using the downward little pinhole camera on the bottom. And it's not a real quick flyer, unfortunately, but some of that's because of the optical flow, because you don't want the drone to move fast if it's trying to look at the ground and hold position. So it comes in this little soft carrying case, and here is the drone, the controller. You got your battery here in the back. It's just a little 1S LiPo. I'll show you what the batteries actually look like for this. It's one of these little ones. I don't know the capacity on this because I can't read it because the LiPo is actually some of the text is covered up, but it is a 1 cell, and it uses a micro USB connection right here. They do give you a little charging cable here, and you get your screwdriver and some extra props for the drone. So here is the drone. Again, it has really cool LEDs, which you'll see. Now on the front, they have several fake cameras. It looks like there's 3. There is sort of a vertical and a your standard view on the app. So I don't know. These looks to me like these 2 top cameras are fake. So it's basically just flipping the camera and cropping it, but it's trying to do what like the Mavic Air and some of those more expensive DJI drones that have the multiple cameras and the different views that you can use with that. But this one does not do that. Now on the bottom here, there is the little optical flow camera to help hold position. And another thing I didn't mention, this drone does have obstacle avoidance. You see this where my thumb is here, here, and here, all the way around the bottom. That's infrared. So what that will do is when you have obstacle avoidance turned on, it's going to look for objects, and if it senses it, it'll stop. The problem with this is, first of all, to use that mode, the drone has to go into an extremely slow rate. I'm talking a rate that the pitch is about like that. Like literally like 5 degrees, because it needs to move super slow to detect that and have time to react to it. So you can barely move. If there's any wind at all outside, it's not going to work because you're going to be fighting the wind, and the drone will not be going forward if you're going into a headwind. The other thing to keep in mind, though, more importantly, is this infrared obstacle avoidance almost never works because of light interference. If there's sunshine, like a day like today where I'm going to fly, just anything bright, anything reflective, it just doesn't work. So I'm not even going to test that. Now, some of you might complain, but I know some of my other friends who review don't either. It's simply because it's junk. I wish they wouldn't include it. The only way you could ever possibly really use it successfully, reliably, would probably be indoors, and then who's going to be flying these drones a whole lot indoors? So it's just a gimmick feature. Do not buy this to rely on obstacle avoidance, because once you fly in that really low speed obstacle rate, avoidance speed rate, you're going to instantly want to go out of it because the drone doesn't even hardly move. It's a joke. So I'm kind of rambling on, but it's frustrating because they could save money by not offering this, but people see it and they think it sounds cool because it's something like a DJI drone or something would have, but they don't realize that it's not going to work like a DJI drone. So you do fold these arms out, and here it is. Yeah, nice little drone, well under 250 grams, so there's no restrictions for FAA or anything like that here in the US. And it does fly nice. Again, it's just not very fast. And if you power it up here, I'll show you what the lights look like. It may not go solid because it's not bound to the controller. They'll flash. But you've got this big bright light on the top. And whenever it's bound, it'll kind of cycle. Maybe is it doing it now? I don't think so. And you got a front LED and then one's on the arms. So once we get it bound up with the controller, then you'll be able to see what those lights look like. So let's hold the button and turn it off. And here is your controller. Kind of your standard style one. You do have a phone clip holder here that folds out. That's where you can put your phone. Then you've got, like on the top, your speed rates, your photo. On the other side, you got your video and your 360 flips. And then over on the side, you got a bunch of the other buttons. Now, some of these buttons are not super well labeled, like light control. And this one here is like your auto takeoff and landing. And you've got a trim mode and headless mode. And over here, I think, is a motorized for the camera tilt up and down. These two off to the right. And then the top one looks like that's maybe one of them's one key return. I think that's what that is, a one key return where the drone just flies backwards in the opposite direction that it takes off. And then you got a gyro calibration as well. I think that was this one, and the top one here is actually headless mode. I'm trying to go by memory and look at the icons because the instruction manual is super small. Like for my old eyes, I have to zoom in here to actually see what these actual controls say, and I'm on the Chinese side. But if we look at the English side here, we'll be able to see that this is the actual controls, and I think I'm on the English one now. Yeah. And it's just really hard to read. So yeah, but I went over all the things it has. If I told you the wrong button, I apologize, just because it's really hard to see it. So yeah, it just takes some AA batteries in the back here, and I think that kind of covers everything with this little drone. So what we'll do is we'll go outside and fly it, let you guys see how it works. Try to do those 360 flips as well. And I want to show you the optical flow. Usually you can test that by putting your hand underneath it. And if it follows your hand, you know that the optical flow is working. So let me get the drone connected. Oh, and I want to mention the app that this comes with, that this uses, and it's like, I think it's like the Wi-Fi UAV or something. I'll put a screenshot of the app up here that it uses in case you have trouble finding it. But that's the app you're going to use to see the feed, and then you can, of course, record the video or take photos with the drone. All right, let me get the drone powered up outside, and we'll take it for a test flight, so be right back. All right, so I have the drone connected. We get the FPV feed up. First thing you want to do is just do a long press here. I'm going to do the beep lets us know. It's hard to see it flashing, but it is. That's doing a gyro calibration of level. And let's start recording some video. Now, you can do the upper bumper here, and that you see is now recording video. We do have a motorized tilt, so you can kind of put it up like this. Let's kind of go, well, let's try like up a little bit, because when you're flying, the drone will tend to have some pitch, and that'll help keep the camera more level. Let's go ahead and just give it some throttle, and we can take off. Now it does have three speed rates. The yaw's quite quick, as you can see, and it's always at that same yaw rate. I don't mind the yaw. That'd probably be better if it's slower in the lower rates. So here is the pitch. Not much in the first rate. There's the second rate, a little bit more. And then the third rate, I don't really even see any difference. See that? So first, second, third. I don't think third is any faster than second. It looked like the pitch didn't even change. So let's see if we can show you the optical flow. It should follow my hand, and there, see how it is? It's seeing my hand and it tries to follow it. So let's move to the right, left, right. Now it kind of got away from my hand. So the optical flow absolutely works, and that is nice. Now I'll show you the obstacle avoidance mode if I can turn it on here. I'm not going to actually try to test it. Let's see, was it a short press? Yeah, look at that. That's obstacle. I mean, it does move. There's not much wind today. My goodness, that is nothing. But that's supposed to be looking for stuff, and it'll detect it and move back. But maybe we could see if it'll move back to my hand. I just want to be careful here that I don't fly it into my face. See it? Well, you don't have to actually look at the front, it has side sensors. It does seem to be working, so it won't come close to me. Now it's not because the sunlight's probably interfering with it. So I'm gonna turn that off. Now you can see we got more pitch. I was kind of in the shade, and that's what you need to do because the sunlight here is gonna mess with it. Now we got some wind blowing head on to it. That's why it's going backwards, and the look at that, boy, it's really trying to fly backwards. I'm not sure if that's the optical flow trying to fly back, and of course the wind's pushing it as well. Let's just show you guys, once the wind lets up, hopefully the drone will settle down here, and it has. Take it up a little higher, and there you can do the tilt of the camera. An optical flow will help to hold as long as there's not too much wind. Let's tilt it down. You can see me there. I probably don't want to see me. The camera is very, very poor, but we expect that. You know, you can't put a good camera on a drone that costs as little as this one. This drone is not very expensive. I don't remember the exact cost. I had picked out a couple drones, but it's not going to be a whole lot. But it is brushless. We're seeing brushless on so many of these toy grade drones now. It's a new thing for this year, and I'm happy to see it. Brushless is much more powerful, even on the 1S LiPo. I mean, I'd rather see it on 2. They're trying to keep the cost down. And much better than brushed. Brushless motors won't burn out like a brushed motor either. Let's see if we can do a 360 flip. So let's press that down bumper and forward, and there we go. A little sloppy. A drone like this really shouldn't, you know, flips on a camera drone is always kind of funny because you're trying to film. We'll do a right flip. A little wobbly, but with brushless motors it can recover and handle. You always do those early in the flight because if you're going to do them as the battery gets low, when it gets to low voltage it'll disable that. But if it's a little close to low voltage, it's going to have a harder time recovering because it's really requires a decent punch from the battery to recover from that flip. You can turn off the LEDs. Actually, I press that button, it doesn't turn them off. I don't know if it changes the pattern. I couldn't really tell, but that it does have a button. The same, I think it's long press on the obstacle avoidance. Will supposed to have some sort of light controls. One key return, I'm not going to fiddle with that. That's a gimmick as well. It does not work well. It'll just fly opposite direction of takeoff. So if you fly the other direction, you press it, it's just going to go farther away from you. Now that's, let's see, are we in the highest rate? Yeah. You see how slow that was? That was in just a light breeze. So this is not a fast flyer, but it's a very nice flyer. I'm not having, it's very smooth. For somebody who's looking to just learn how to fly, this wouldn't be a bad choice, and you're getting brushless motors at a very low cost. And if you wanted to fly it indoors, you had a big enough area, the obstacle avoidance would be helpful there. But yeah, look at that, that's full pitch, and it's just meandering along. A little quicker this way because we got some wind at its back. So it's able to move faster that way. Let's see, I think that one was a, we could land on the pool cover. Auto, is this an auto? Well, we got a low battery, I think, yeah. So these don't have a real long flight time. Part of that is because you got brushless motors on a little 1S LiPo, so you're not gonna get a long flight time on these batteries. So I would, if you're, buy a multi-battery version if they sell it. If not, look around for extras. They offer some higher capacity batteries like this, and they all are the same. They use these on brushed and brushless. The capacity in those higher capacity ones are almost always a lie, but they still are larger, and you will get a longer flight time. Let's see if we can do the auto landing. There we go. And we landed. Now we want to stop recording the video, and let's see what the time says on the video there. About 6.5 minutes, exactly what my friend Dave over at Perth West said. You'll get about 6.5 minutes on these batteries, and he's absolutely right, of course. Dave's great. He also tested those higher capacity batteries, which they were lying about the capacity, but he got almost twice as much flight time on the drone he tested with those. So I would look into buying some of those if you do order this drone, because there will be a purchase link down in the video description to this drone from AliExpress. So if you want to help support the channel and you're interested in it, please click that link and it'll take you there. It won't cost you a cent more, but it will help support the channel so I have the time to record these videos. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel and you like content like this, tech stuff, drones, RC cars, boats, please consider subscribing. Click the bell, that way you're notified when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, have a great day.